其他接种率较低州属的疫苗增强剂计划。
Hello, this is Ray, an autistic virtual YouTuber from Malaysia. So, for today, I'm going to have Wangan Midnight Maximum Tune 6RR match analysis. So, it's based on the match recordings that I have done when I played during the Lunar New Year public holiday. So it covers 2 days of recording. So there will be more videos compared to the last time. So without ado, before I start, I need to tell that this will be the last, at least for a foreseeable future, because I plan to wait, so essentially taking a break from this game until I get a new job. So even then, I am very likely to hit after I got my position confirmed, and then having a steady job status, then I'll get back. And even then, if I found my performance suffered, maybe it will take a couple more training sessions before I can actually record them. So I will think of something as a replacement, but it won't be exactly the same though. I will announce once I got the idea out. So with that in mind, let's start. Okay, just doing the usual maneuvers. Nothing much. Oops. Okay, here's. Oops. It doesn't react well. Okay, let's. Oops. See. Let's rewind a few frames. Okay, so when I take the turn, I think you have noticed that the car is actually slow to react, and by the time this RX-8 realized it was too late. So now let's continue. Okay, just go straight forward. Now the left, the right. Okay. Oops. Whoa. Man, that was close. Oopsie. That's where I actually lost control of my vehicle. So I'm going to rewind for a few frames. Okay, so at here I still have control, but I actually oversteered here, so I should, which caused issues when I reached the corner and I didn't counter steer at time. So yep, so essentially I lost control for a while, and that allows the RX-8 to overtake me. Yep, that's another issue. The bump has changed my racing lines and caused the collision. Okay. Yep. That's actually a good block. Whoops. Wrong angle. That caused another collision. Okay. I did a proper counter steer, but that has resulted in a speed loss which reduces the hand advantage even further. Okay, so now go straight. Okay, oops. Looks like the RX-8 has some kind of collision. Yeah, that kind of crash is kind of unpredictable and hard to avoid. Oops. Yup, wrong angle. But at this point, there's no way I can win unless he made a tremendous mistake. So now, okay, at the red corner, make a hard turn, adjust back. Yup. Now, oops. Okay, nothing special here, just normal cornering maneuvers. But yeah, I could take turns sharper though. Oops, nice. Yeah, you definitely need to adjust your racing lines based on the traffic. Oh. Yep. Now the gap is closing though. See. Yep. I lost control. Had I not lost control of the car at this point, I might still be able to catch up with the RX-8 at this point. Oops. Yeah, I lost. Yep, at this point I also lost the control, but that wouldn't have mattered anyways. So let's move on to the next race. Okay. Now, yep. Yeah, the RX-8 essentially lost control. Not RX-8 though. The violate Z. Oh, crap. Accidentally skipped that. So I'm going to restart the race. So, yep. The E20 isn't exactly good at. Only the violate Nismo lost control and I will take that car. Yep. So does the RX-8. Yeah, he actually tries to block me, but it was kind of predictable, so I did a counter steering maneuver. Oops. Okay, now on to that big corner. So yep, I did that deliberately because I predicted that the RX-8 will go through the same racing line. So by doing this, essentially his racing line is closed, so he can't overtake me at that point. So now, oops. Okay, yep, this is kind of a common issue on that particular corner, so I'm gonna rewind the frames. Okay, so I'm going through a frame by frame. So here it is. I try to straighten up because oversteering can be a problem, but during this collision, since that my car's weight has shifted to the right, so the RX-8 can simply just flow through. So let's continue. Oops. So now, okay, take a sharp. Whoops. Yeah, not a good turn. So let's go. Okay. Now take a sharp turn. Not sharp enough though. Okay. Yep. Yeah, at this point you really need to account for the advantage. Yeah, you have to manage that because you don't want to lose the advantage at crucial moments. So, yep. This is a good thing because I can shorten the gap a bit later. Oopsie. But that has backfired since that I have a wall collision. So yep, this is an less than ideal but not exactly a problem. So this is it. So okay, I'm gonna pause this. So a very common trick for that. Oopsie. So I'm gonna drag. Okay. So now. Oopsie. Okay. So now I'm gonna go with a frame by frame movement. So when I turn, and it certainly helps that the RX-8 actually had a wall collision. So again, when you turn left, your weight shifts to the right, which means your pushing power at the left is reduced. So, and on top of that, I took a sharper turn, which allows me to overtake that car easily. So let's continue. Yeah, I recently take more ISO inline stuff because I want to practice more on that route. And yeah, those battles, they don't really prepare you for them. Okay. I would have been overtaken if not for the fact that the RX-8 also had a collision. So yeah, at this point, as long as I don't make any mistakes, I should be, yep, I've won. So let's go with the next one. Okay, this is a ghost battle, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the Yokohama. This is New Bedline. Yeah, New Bedline is normally a high-speed track, which requires high drift settings, but considering that this particular direction leads into C1, so I decided to maintain 720. So now,
在冰城，一些商家就决定继续在入口处摆放温度测量仪和手水布置，让访客自由选择登记方式。
Now to the pages. So nothing much remarkable here though, considering their goals and at that. See, yeah, this is a hard turn. Okay, nice. Okay, yeah. Counter steering is very important to prevent, the end swings like what happened just now. So essentially straighten up your car. Yep, so this is the C1 area. Now turn to the left, and then, yep, nothing much. Okay, oops. Nice. Okay, on to the next one, which is okay. So here it is. Yeah. Okay, so now let's get back. So let me explain what happened with a frame-by-frame analysis. So I did overtook ALX, and then, but here's the thing, I didn't push him hard enough that he collides, but yep, the M*M failed to take advantage of that. Now, okay. Now, yep, this is another mistake that very common even with long-time players. So, okay. So the MOM thinks he can just slip through, but the problem is, if you notice, he collide with the wall. So you need to pay attention to the surroundings and don't just random attack without account for your environment. Let's see. Okay, so if you notice, I actually let out the gas for a few times. This is to ensure that I keep the advantage the same. So now, see. Okay, so I'm going back a few seconds back. So now, here's the thing. I suspect that at the time, the player of that LX car suffered from what's essentially object fixation. So object fixation is that when you fixate onto a certain object, you will drive towards it. And that's the main reason why a lot of players emphasize one thing: look where you want to go, because when you look where you want to go, you will drive where you want to go. But when you look where you are going, chances are you are going to crash to what you are looking at. So, and it isn't just once though, it's twice. So, yep, he failed to overtake. So now let's continue with the race. Okay. Ooh, that was safe. No. Turn right, turn left. Okay, this is a much better turn than a few different ones. Yup. Okay, so that's the issue. Now, okay, due to its small size, I can slip through, but the problem is, yep, I crashed on this and I lost speed and gets taken over by both of the cars. So now, okay, turn. Nice. Then turn to the left. Oopsie. Okay, now. Oops. Nice. Wait, let me check what's exactly happening here. So let's do it for a frame by frame movement. So okay, now so MOM has crashed with a van, and then I just plow through, while the ALX essentially blocked straight in front, but there's no way it can't be helped since that there's nowhere to escape anyways. Now, oopsie. Okay. Now, okay, so after that, I try to take advantage of that, but the problem is the collision has caused me to lose speed. So the correct way of doing this is actually avoid the car until the advantage goes in 1 meter or 2 meters, then I go and block. But excessive blocking will make you lose speed, and then in races like this you will get taken advantage from other cars from behind that trying to catch up, which is exactly what happened. So now, yep, the same mistake that I did. Whoops, nice block though. Okay, so now, whoopsie, and unfortunately placed car which prevents me to taking over. Now, whoopsie, yep. Now, okay, let's rewind a few seconds back. Wait, where was I? Okay, almost there. Okay, let's go for frame by frame movement. What exactly happened? So the two have crashed. So MOM is more or less gets overtaken. So now that double crash pretty much made ALX lost the speed, and I'll just brake off to avoid the car and while overtaking that car at the same time. So let's continue. Oops. Okay. So again, he tries to overtake me, but again, he hit the wall. But at the same time, I also collided with the R2 traffic car. So the advantage almost disappeared. Oops. Yeah, this is a critical turn. Okay. So yeah, we all crash, so I get to keep the advantage. So now, oopsie. Okay, so far so good. Now, oopsie. Okay, so what happened during that red turn? Okay, so I'm approaching the red turn. So here's the thing. When this happens, the collision will definitely make me lose speed, but not enough to have getting overtaken by two cars at once. And I don't have the enough pushing power to make Alex crash onto the right wall. So yeah, that's why I lost. Or I should say got second place instead. So let's get back. Okay. So now, okay, so here's the thing, the correct maneuver in this case is actually turn right to counter the pushing, and how should I put it, but not too much right that you ended up crashed, since that you need to maintain the leftward direction. So you just turn right slightly just to maintain enough of your position, and then turn left accordingly to maintain your position on the track. So yeah, but at least Alex managed to stabilize quick enough. So let's move on to the next race. Okay, now, so just normal times. Oopsie. Another object fixation on my sights. Okay. This is another classic mistake by Jojo. So Jojo tried to overtake me by slipping through, but since that I turned too much and then collided, then he overtakes, but he forgets to counter steer, or presumably doesn't do much of that, and he ended up crashing, and I overtake that car again. So let's continue. Okay, let's move. Oopsie. Now, nothing special here, just some regular counter steering movements. Okay. Oopsie. Okay. So let's rewind a few seconds. So now, okay, Alex has crashed onto a traffic car and I managed to avoid it. Then I have made a sharper turn, which allows me to and I have successfully pushed a LIX for a wall collision, but in the process I also have collided, so Jojo has successfully overtaken me for a short while, but I quickly block the car and then maintain my position. Yeah, when it comes to that kind of turn, you really need to counter steer properly. Okay, now do a sharp turn. Okay, just drive smoothly. They should be catching up in a few kilometers. Okay, let's catch straight. Slight wall collision. Oops. Now, I don't know what happened with MOM to the point that, and ALX for that matter, until they slid behind so much. And Jojo has catch up. Oopsie. Okay, so now, yep. Oh. Okay, so now let's rewind. Okay. Now, so what happened is that when I turn, there's quite a big gap at the left, which Jojo took advantage, and adding in with the weight mechanics that I have explained earlier, he flowed through, and then suddenly MOM crashed up, and I tried to correct myself with a counter steer, which thankfully worked, but because the hard steering has made me lose some speed, enough for MOM to attempt and overtake, which failed. Then Jojo suddenly crashed, which allowed me to just go straight up. Actually, if he tried to block me, it would be successful though, because of the traffic car at the left. Okay, now turn to the right. Oopsie, almost got it. Thankfully, I turned hard enough for the collision to happen. Oops. Yeah, he doesn't maintain distance though, he just trying to block me and then end up crashing. Now turn to the left. Okay. So now what? Whoops. Seems like they also, MOM has crashed, which prevented the taking over from happening. But ALX is definitely catching up. Yep. Okay. Again, a common mistake done by players is they try to block me so hard, they forget about their surroundings and then crashing with something, be it walls or traffic vehicles. But I can't get relaxed yet because MOM is coming close. Oh. Yep. Yeah, I pretty much lose control of my steering. So, okay. Now, yep. So essentially, this is where the mistake starts. So I steered too much to the right, and thus I lost control to the point that I crashed with a massive speed loss, and I ended up getting overtaken a lot. Yeah, sometimes the last few corners are pretty much the deciding factor of any given races. Okay, let's get back to the beginning. So MOM essentially trying to brake block me, knowing full aware that ALX is at the sides, and this is something that I really don't like about those kind of players. So essentially, he's trying to, instead of trying to win, he's trying to ensure that I lose. And that's something that I will never do as a player, because this is a racing game. So you are supposed to be the fastest, not trying to slow yourself just for the sake of slowing other people more. But MOM has did a wrong move in second guessing my movement, so he ended up crash. Now, yeah, you can't really go for the, oh, whoops. That's pretty much a mistake that I made. Now, okay. So frame by frame. So here's the thing. When due to the traffic cars, I pretty much start drifting that way. And then when I try to correct myself, since that the weight is still shifted to the right side, then so let's get, see now. Okay, so let's go through. So at this point, the E20, which is my car's weight, still shift to the right, and I can't self-correct at the time, which means the MON taking advantage of this and pushing me, having this kind of collision. It essentially slows your car almost to a halt, and it will take a long time to recover. Now, okay, so now I just simply drive. Oops. Adjust the racing lines. Oops. Now just simply follow them, but not too closely though, because those, when it comes to this kind of intense fight for positions like this, anything can happen and can throw off your racing lines. So yep, That's kind of unlucky since that I could have overtake. But yeah. So let's rewind back a few seconds. Wait, not here, I guess. Yup. So now, okay. So here, what happened is that I don't know that Joju could not correct itself and ended up crashing right at my front. So that slows me down and prevent me from overtaking, but here's the thing. So when the red turn comes, okay, first is Alex, since that I take a sharper turn, and not to mention he actually brakes, which actually shifts the weight to the front, which makes the right side lighter, and that's pretty much push me button. So then MOM and Jojo unaware of this, then I just simply overtake them by taking the space between the two. And now just some normal driving. Okay, now, see, I actually crashed, but then again, so do MOM, so, but ALX definitely can overtake, since they both suffer from speed losses. Now, yup, there's no way I can overtake at that point though, considering the racing lines are kind of similar. Now, okay, the same technique, taking advantage of the weight shift. So yeah, the camera does kind of autofocus though. Oh, see, I crashed with the car and I get overtaken. Okay, this is possibly the last chance for an overtaking, but yeah, since I have to fend off Jojo, which means I couldn't do any of the actual overtaking attempts. Okay, so now let's move on to the next race. Yup, this, yeah, Taycan. But normally you don't go for 780 on that track because there's a lot of hard turns that you need to do. Now, take a, oops. Yeah, trying to overtake them is sometimes kind of hard because their movements are kind of unpredictable, since that it is actually based on their previous game records. Oops. Okay. Now, yeah, wait. Okay, so now let's rewind a few seconds. Now, let's see. Okay, so on to the So first is the first turn, since that I can sandwich between the two. Then here's the thing. Initially, okay. Now initially I am sandwiched between the two, but when L9413 push quite aside, I follow its racing lines, and then since that L9413 has overtaken it, I can just simply cruise along. And then on to the yellow turn, I'm lucky that fight actually slows down. And then after that, so okay, the collision has made us slow down a bit, and I just overtake it. So yep, it seems like, yeah, the speeds, I think it's the record issue, since that the recorded speeds are higher than what I'm currently running, so it will take a while before I actually speeds up. Yeah, hit the walls because of the collision. So now make a hard right turn, but he successfully blocked my path though. So yeah, in a actual battle, try avoid, you know, going through all those lock stuffs. Man, that was close. Okay, counter steer to correct position. Just drive normally though. Okay. And L9413 keeps on pestering. Now gets overtaken, but not that much of a problem, since that there's always handicap, and it seems that he also crashes, so which allows me to close the gap. And then I make a harder turn and took advantage of the braking. So now, yeah, these kind of turns require quick turning, since that they kind of connected though. Yeah, you don't want, either you turn hard or you deliberately understeer to avoid that toll booth. So let's move on to the next race. It was that. Whatever. Okay, so now, yeah, try not to do that. You will end up crash. It's better for you to take a split path and try to overtake the next time. No. Okay, so just keep on driving. Yep, nice. Now another one. Oops. Got blocked by the silver GTR. Oopsie. Yeah, good block maneuver from the blue GTR, the R32, but I still managed to overtake them. Okay, so now, but handicap means they should be closing the gap soon, but apparently not.
俄罗斯奥委会今天发声明表示，在鼎力仲裁法庭有所裁决之前，瓦利耶娃应有权在无限制下全面参与训练和比赛。还有鉴于有关调点是在冬奥会前进行，俄罗斯女团所取得的金牌也不应该受到自动审查。不过，另一边厢的国际奥委会强调遵守100%反对兴奋剂政策。奥委会将会通过国际兴奋剂检测机构，针对俄罗斯反兴奋剂机构解除临时禁赛令的决定提出上诉。诉讼结果如何，将会在2月15号花滑女单晚节目开赛前公布。而这项结果影响甚大，不止定夺冠大热的瓦利耶娃，接下来是否能够参与花滑女单，遇到瓦利耶娃受到制裁，
Okay, just normal driving though. Nothing too much remarkable. Nice. So let's move on to the next. Okay, now this is Osaka. Yeah, when it comes to this kind of red turns, always try to take the insides of the corner. And then now turn a hard right, stay close to the right side as much as possible without crashing. Okay, so Faith is closing in. Now, okay, hard turn, then counter steer. Now, oopsie, Faith has overtaken me, but I can just take back the place anyways. Yup, that's how things goes in a Wangan race. You leverage the advantage thing and the weights. You can just deliberately let them overtake you for you to overtake them later on. So now, hard turn. Nice. Now, okay. Right, left, right. Nice.
So instead of having one screen to work on, you can have 5 screens to work on. So if you're someone who has a lot of tabs open and applications.
Whoa, got overtaken, but there's a yellow one. Yep. He brakes, which makes him lose the speed. That was close. Yeah, another counter steer to prevent clashing. Now, oops. That was close. But there's nothing much to talk about in this map race though. So let's move on to the next one. And this is Kobe. Yeah, I definitely go for 600 in both Kobe and Shinjuku. So, wait. Okay, so now let's go for frame by frame check. So essentially, Fate blocks gas and gas blocks earth, so essentially causing a clash. Then they suddenly shift to the left, which somehow cause gas to lose speed, and I managed to overtake them. Then their sudden shift to the left has allowed me to overtake both of them, presumably because their battle records overlap, maybe? I don't know. Now hard left, hard right. Yeah, not good enough. See. Hard right. Counter steer. Yup.
新闻的最后去看看美不胜收的实景，感谢收看这一节华语新闻，我是刘香玲，我是杨子莎，祝你平安，我们再会。
Okay, now turn to the right. So if there's not enough to cover everything, yeah, so yep, fate has overtaken me using the same. Whoa, yep. So let's see what here though. So where was I? Wait, did it glitch or something? Ah crap, I need to open again. Okay, so now, yup. So where it was then? Okay. So now let's rewind for a bit. Okay, so when I enter this corner, essentially Fate deliberately takes the outside corner so that he can get into inside the second corner to overtake me. Yeah, so this is actually a potential attacking tactic if you want to try to overtake your opponents in these kind of corners. But if the person in front of you learns that you are going to do this, he's just going to block you by mimicking your bracing lines. And now, yep, it was too sudden that I couldn't avoid it. So yeah, it leads to me getting overtaken. But at least I quickly overtake that car back. So now turn left. Yeah, by the way, the stream will end on 10 p.m. If there's any videos left, then I will bring that to next week, because I recorded quite a lot though. Now, oh, nice. Since that this is a CPU car, so he won't block me if that's how he's positioned in the records. And that is also the precise reason why training for ghost battles isn't a good way to practice against human opponents, because their behaviors are completely different. Wow, that was close. Okay, nice. So I'm going. Okay, so not here. Here, I think. Yep. So I took this corner and I deliberately shift my position to a bit center so that I can make another turn. Yeah, I actually turned too much, and I did some counter steering, and thankfully I managed to stabilize myself and keep driving without getting overtaken. Oops. Okay, so now on to the next match, and this is Yokohama. The thing about Yokohama is that unlike Wangan, which is mostly straight roads, Yokohama have quite a lot of turns that since that you are expected to drive with a dangerous setting, so those turns will be actually kind of hard to execute, especially if you are not get used to that sort of thing. Okay, now let's see. Wow, that was close, but I managed to hold my ground, only for 904 to take advantage of the situation and overtake both cars. But at least I managed to take back the position. So yeah, there's a lot of counter steering going on if you are just steering against the traffic cars. Okay, nice overtake. Whoa, that crash. At least it isn't. Whoops. This is interesting. So let's rewind a few seconds. So where was it? Okay, let's rewind some more. Okay, so now going for frame by frame movement. Okay, so here again pushing using the weight shifting, then just go and block, and now a left turn, and here it is. So essentially when this kind of situation happens, you got a crash. At least the collision isn't exactly bad. Then suddenly for some reason 904 has a loss of speed, and both my car and 911 has overtake that car. So now, yup, again the same maneuvers, but normally it doesn't happen on a blue corner though, especially against actual real players instead of computer opponents. So let's go through for the next video. Yeah, if you notice, the boost meter is maintained somewhere around 1.5. That's called 1 meter gassing, since that you just press the gas up until you reach 1.5. And also I went for normally it would be 680, but I have to go for 760 this time because in this track, if I do that, the handicap will not help at all. So essentially when you turn the corner, the handicap essentially disappears, which means I cannot leverage the handicap for most parts of the track. And thankfully their power settings are suboptimal. So now turn around. Yeah, I'm still practicing all the cornering ways to properly corner the track. So oops. Okay, nice takeover. There should be a red turn. Oh, that was dangerous. But I think I did manage to overtake that one. Yup. But I crashed and got taken over again. Oh, that was close. Okay, now turn around. Oh, I'm lucky that he doesn't overtake me. So now on to the next race, and this is Ikebukuro. Now take a turn left. Yeah, when they slow down, you definitely can overtake them, especially in boss battles. Now take a hard left turn. Oopsie. Again. Crap. There's a collision which prevents me from overtaking the car at that point. Now, whoopsie, I don't turn enough. Okay, so I should take the turn over there. Okay, so now, yup. Whoops. Which ended up taking the outer corner. But, yep, there's a big red turn over here. Now make a hard turn. But Xerox block that route. Whoops. He crashed and I overtook him. Which is kind of lucky though, because normally this would result on a block though. Whew. That was sick. Normally I would have crashed onto the car though. Whoopsie. Man, that was close. So now let's move on to the next video. Yep, this is Hiroshima track. Okay, LAX has blocked fates again, but for some reason YHG loses speed though. Yup, again taking inside corner to overtake the cars. Just continuous steering. Whoops, turn too much. Okay, so from here turn right and it will suddenly go left. Okay, yeah, not there yet. So at this point, I should be nearing a big red corner, which requires me to jump. Here we go. And you are supposed to turn before you enter the jump. Okay, not much. Whoa. Yeah, so the corner gets progressively sharper and sharper, followed by a two medium corners of opposite directions. This is actually an easy race though. So now let's move on to the next one. Whoa, 3Z4s. This track is Yokohama. So Yokohama is a high-speed track which contains more, which requires turns that may be hard to do if you're first time, because if you notice, yeah, the optimal horsepower in this game is actually 800, so I don't know why there's such a bizarre horsepower use. So now just normal drive. Oops, the B plus, huh? So C also have catch up. So now at this point, it's just heading into Wangan. Yeah, there are few attack attempts, but they are successfully blocked though. So now on to the next race. This is Shinjuku. So yeah, the thing about Shinjuku is that some players who well aware of the layout and the endpoint, they will deliberately put 720 horsepower instead of the recommended 680. Okay, there's clashes which definitely makes them slow down. Okay, CTD has been overtaken, then so does Turbo. Nothing interesting so far here. Oops, followed too close. Now R30 CTD tries to take over. Okay, nice. Then the hard turn, counter steer, yup. Now turn left. Oops, got hit and got taken over by two cars, but this soon will be rectified. Okay, nice. I induce the car into hitting a traffic card so that I can overtake that first place position. Yeah, these are a bunch of players who aren't experienced, but their cars are fully tuned though. Okay, now oopsie, got a crash. Okay, let's rewind a few seconds for this. So now, not here. Okay, so in this case, so turn to the right, and then hard left, hard right, then 888 hit the wall, which I took advantage of, but then I crashed onto a car, which makes things a bit more complicated. Okay, nice counter steer. Oops, head inwards. Whoa, hit the outer wall. If this is the case, with other opponents, I would have get overtaken. Oops, hit. Okay, turn right. Hard left. Whoops, crash again. Whoa. Let me see how many that I left. I need to keep, since that there's still half of the videos that I'm going to cover. Oops. So now turn left, turn right. Okay, inwards, then a hard left turn, but and then counter steer. Okay, hard turn. Yeah, I should have braked a bit though. Okay, hard left. Maybe not left enough though. Okay, stay close to the left side. But the problem is, when you fly, you will shift to the right, so you need to straighten your car before the jump, which I failed to do. At this rate, I don't think I will be able to cover all of the videos by 10 though. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, just straight up. Oops. Trying to crash but failed to do so. So now on to the next corner. Yeah, again. Oops. It is the same video, so okay, this is the correct one. So they failed to push me down, which leads to me taking the lead. The one advantage of R2 is that it's very small, so maneuvering, blocking is definitely a lot harder, but driving would be much easier though. Wait. Okay, let's go frame by frame. Let's see what happened. Okay, so turn left. Yeah, I tried to avoid the car, but I steered to the right too much and ended up colliding with a wall. So 43 has collided straight on, while Zane went to the side and overtook me. Okay, just normal takeover, nothing special here. Wow, that was dangerously close. Okay, turn left. So here I actually brake. Yeah, smooth, but could be done a lot faster though. Okay, whoops, got hit at the corner though. So now turn left, yep. So take the inside corner so that when you jump, you won't hit the right side wall. Okay, hard left turn, counter steer, nice. Okay, turn left. Okay, go through the gap. Okay, reach the goal, nice. See, I think, yep, that was the video. So yeah, Z star, and I think I'll call it underscore though. Oops, wait. Okay, so what happened is that okay, so when I try to stay to the left and trying to overtake, the underscore push me to the left side, which caused a collision, but thankfully it doesn't hit the corner. If the car hits the corner, then it would be much worse than this. Oops, nice. Whoa. Crash, but failed to overtake. But at least I still close the gap though. So now, let's see. Yeah, so I just simply drive straight since that there's a red corner coming up, which I can actually use for overtaking. Yeah, I failed the attempt to. Whoops. Yep, he's essentially trying to control my racing lines. Okay. I'm lucky that the traffic car crash has prevented him from being able to do much though. Whoops. Okay, car turn. But the crash at the end. Yeah, but still there's always this race is not over yet. I can still overtake it. Yep, he's definitely trying to crash on me, but getting overtaken before. Whoopsie. Yeah, sometimes if the domino effects. Crap, crash onto the right wall. Whoops, nice. Yep. He's second guessing himself and thought I would crash straight, but instead I dodged them and overtook that car with ease. So turn left, then turn right. Whoops, catching up, huh? Okay, so now, yep. Okay, so now let's rewind a few seconds. Okay, so what happened is I tried to block him and then I should manage to nudge the car for wall collision, but I crashed as well, and when I tried to correct, I crashed on the R2 in front, but since that the car couldn't get out in time, then both of the cars lose speed and I managed to block the car the second time, and yeah, thankfully I managed to counter steer my way out of that. I guess considering the number of videos remaining, let's see how much. I need to double check how many videos that's left though. Okay, turn right. Okay. So now he has one last corner that he can use to overtake. But again, so okay. So in the lead up to that yellow corner, since that there's quite a lot of traffic cars, he tried to push me, but he hit the R2 and then he failed to overtake me. Yep, I won this race. I think I have. Okay, I think I can cover them all. So this is Fukuoka. So I deliberately let Z-Star to overtake me because there's a big yellow corner coming up. Yep. So essentially during the turn there's a gap and I just simply slip through. So okay, just keep on driving though. If I'm not mistaken, this match is cut short by a challenger. Yep, definitely slowly creeping through. But thankfully the handicap won't allow the car to overtake me. I think he crashed as well though. Whoops. Yep, the van is avoided. Now, yep, yeah, the match was cut short because a new challenger comes in. Then, yep, heading into sub-center. I think this is Ikebukuro though. So just pressuring. But normally you go for 700 instead of 720 in this track though. wait, this is Shinjuku, not Ikebukuro, sorry. So hard turn again. But yeah, this is why you don't go for 720 in either of in this track, because those red turns will be a problem. So now just keep, and due to the HP difference, the handicap will be very favorable for them. Whoa. Okay. Nice steering. Oopsie. Okay. Yup, again, another counter steer. I have to make sure that okay, so now crap, I drifted too much. So at this section you want to get close to the corner and at the end of that corner, so that you can turn like that. But at this point forwards, it's all about lane control, because it's very easy to get caught up in this section, especially when the difference, the horsepower difference is more than 4 blocks, and in this case it's 6 blocks. So yeah, it's very easy to get caught up when you get on the leads, but thankfully I managed to block the car, and there should be a corner coming up. Nice maneuver though. And this section is dangerous because, precisely because of the catching up issue. But apparently that car has crashed with a lorry though. So, but it is not inevitable that I can win, however, because of these corners. Apparently he has such a good handling that he can keep up. But he can't overtake at this point though. But it certainly does come close. So now on to the next race. Yup, this is Wangan. Yeah, on Wangan, cornering is not that much of a problem, but you really need to engage in a lot of lane control. But due to the horsepower difference, you just simply drive, and in a sense this track is precisely why certain detractors of this game call it a straight line driving simulator, even though it does have some slight turns though. So you really need to keep focus and avoid the traffic cars. And on if there's any actual VS battles against actual players instead of CPU opponents, then you will see a lot of lane shifting and whatnot, because you need to keep tabs of your opponent's position throughout the entire track, which really drains your concentration, and it can be exhausting. nothing much here, but there is a sharp corner up there though. I'm not quite sure if this track reaches that point. Nope, doesn't reach there. But if the track extends further, like a couple kilometers, that turn would come up. Okay, yeah, I switched to the Charger though. So essentially, yep, a larger and heavier car, but kind of hard to handle though. Yeah, these kinds of steering will reduce your speed, so unless you do this to reorient your car, this is not recommended. So now, whoopsie, okay, whoops, nice. Okay. Sucks. I lost control. Oops. So let's go back a few seconds earlier. So essentially what happens is that after I successfully blocked the car, I didn't counter steer enough and I ended up colliding, and I got over, and I didn't block again, and I ended up overtaken. Oopsie. Oh, sucks. I thought I could pass through, but I couldn't. So yeah, this has led to a rather large advantage gap, but for some reason I managed to catch up though. So now to the left. Okay, just trying to catch up. Yep, take a sharper turn. Yeah, these kind of side collisions normally doesn't incur much speed penalty. So yep, just trying to keep some distance. Yeah, this is, yep, trying to maintain the advantage or the lack of thereof. Oops, turn, nice. If you get too close, the opponent will try to block you, and you will lose even more distance like this. Okay, sucks, crash. Whoa. Okay, so now turn. Okay. Advantage has been reduced. So the gap is close. Now, see. So yeah, this is the turn that will decide everything. Yeah, I brake too much, I guess. Yup. Yeah, I lost this one. So now on to the next race. Yup, Shinjuku again. So this time I let him overtake me first, since that there are a lot of corners that I can utilize to trying to overtake him back. For some reason he crashes though, and I avoid unnecessary collisions, which allowed me to overtake him. So now, oops, whoa, yeah, it's very easy to get. Okay, so now, okay, let's rewind a few seconds first. So here's what happened. Oh, here, okay. So now, at this point, I do block, and he actually crashed. Then when I try to take corner, I lose control and keep on crashing and crash 2 times. Then yeah, when I realize that he's coming close, I failed to block him. So now, okay, just oops. So now, okay, from here, make a heart. Yup, that crash. Now, so this is actually a smart move, since that you can't, there's not much flexibility on the racing lines on that, and by deliberately crashing that way, you prevent overtaking from happening. So maybe I should rewind to that moment. Okay, so where is that? Okay, yep. So I'm gonna pause that here and go for frame by frame move. So the corner is coming up, and then turn hard right. So here's the thing, when that car crashed, I don't know, I'm not sure how he's going, and I just go back as usual. Then crash is kind of avoidable, since that you can't turn too hard or else you will hit anyways. Phew, thankfully I avoided that. So yeah, I need to maintain some distance, but not too much though. And apparently, yep, the advantage for him has increased. Now just maintain. Yep, the match got ended with a challenger suddenly come in though. Okay, so now, yeah, he doesn't push the car enough for the wall collision to happen. Since the Charger is a very heavy car, so you need to push harder in comparison with other cars. Oops. Thank goodness I managed to block that. Okay. Oops. Okay. Good counter steering. Oopsie. Wait. So let's rewind a few seconds. And here's the thing. I managed to shake that off, but when I try to turn though, yep. So wait. See. Okay, let's have a look again. So here's the thing. I should have counter steered right at this few frames, but since that I was a few frames too late and I ended up crash. But then again, the R32 also hit a bit, so the advantage isn't as bad. Okay, so the Evo 9 tried to block me, but ended up doing excessively and ended up hitting a wall instead. So maybe I just cut. Wait. Wait. Something's not right. Okay, so I'm going back to, okay. So from here, now here's the thing. If you try to overtake at this angle, normally it should work, but the problem is Charger is an incredibly heavy car, so and at that point, since that the car is actually going straight, so the weight that actually doesn't shift around, so the pushing has become more effective. So let's continue with the race. So okay, let's continue. Now turn left. Yup. Okay. Now this is interesting. So essentially, what I was attempting is this. So I try to self-correct, but okay, I ended up failed to do so, and he take advantage of that by crashing me straight on the wall at an angle that pretty much slows down the car a lot. And if not for the Evo 9 hitting that traffic car, I would have gotten last place at that point though. But it seems like the R32 has slowed down, possibly because of some slight collisions that happened. Okay, so now, at this point it's just closing the gap. And you have to be careful because you don't want to get too close at this point. But in doing so, I ended up putting myself in a disadvantage. Whoopsie. Nice block. But he also have some collisions on his own though. And this isn't exactly a bad thing, since that there's a big red corner coming up that I can utilize to overtake him. Oops. Okay, now turn. Yup. That collision definitely pushed my car forward. So yeah, this is the deliberate, because they are. Whoopsie. Yep, he also lost control of his car, but because of the collision just now, there's not much advantage to be gained. Whoopsie. Okay. Nice maneuver. Let's just straight up taking the gap and then overtake me. Let's go to the next match. Okay, so yep, just blocking those overtaking attempts just to maintain the position. So yeah, you need to maintain the distance. Don't get too far, but don't get too close either. But wait, what's going on here? So let me check. So essentially he hit a traffic car, then yep, I avoided that, and then I proceed to overtake him as a result. Whoops. Whoa. Okay, nice attack attempt. Whoopsie. Yep, he's definitely have a wall collision. So yep. Okay, so this is an interesting situation. So I'm gonna rewind and further analyze to you what's exactly going on here. Whoa. Wait. Now, okay. Let's see which frame I should be using. Okay. So starting from here. So since that you see this R32 is more or less locked positions, so in doing so his speeds pretty much drop a lot more compared to mine. And then when I try to counter steer, since that my speed has lost as well, and at the same time he's accelerating, he managed to get close, but the collision doesn't cause speed loss, so I managed to shrug off the overtaking attempt, and on top of that I managed to push him away onto the right side wall. Okay, so now, yep, I deliberately chose that side because I want to do some practice. Again, he's way too focused on overtaking that he hits the right side wall. Now turn. Okay, so far so good. And now because of the traffic cars, I lost control of the handling and he just take me like that. Whoopsie, oversteered. But at this point it's not possible to overtake the car at the front though. But at least I managed to shrug off attempts at. Yup. So let's rewind. Whoopsie. Okay, so essentially I tried to just overtake him, but he still managed to block me, and then yup, the nameless car just take advantage of the situation and takes the first place. So now just make a right turn. Okay, the gap is more or less reduced. Oopsie. Yeah, can't overtake at that kind of situation. Woo, nice. But I hit a traffic car and taking over again, but a wall collision has allowed me to close the distance. So essentially, whoops. Yeah, that's an effective blocking tactic. Create a collision, reverse course and block someone else. Okay, the gap is closing. Yeah, because of that wall collision, I managed to sneak up. Then there's one more car to take over. So yep, maintain some distance, and then yep, again the weight shift theory that I have mentioned earlier in this stream. Oopsie. Whoa. And here's the thing. Okay, so I'm gonna rewind a few frames. Okay, at this point, I wasn't even aware that the other car is catching up. And I am actually kind of lucky that it was too late to actually trying to catch up. So I managed to win. So now let's go for the next race. Okay. So now, yeah, for the beginnings, the first few seconds of the race doesn't actually matter. Whoops, he turned too much and then collided. So now, yep, I'm taking this route for practicing. Whoops. Yeah, that wall collision has caused some handling issues. Okay. Now, let's see what happens in this corner. Okay. Nice. I overtake one of the cars. Whew. That's definitely an interesting chaotic situation. So I'm going to rewind and then go for frame by frame movement. So he tries to block me, but in doing so, he ended up crashing on the traffic car while drifting to the right. So it leaves a gap that allows me to pass through. See, again, crashing onto the left wall in an overtaking attempt. So yeah, I need to emphasize something here. Pay attention to your surroundings. Okay. It seems like 0618 had an earlier collision. Okay. Nice. So now what? Okay. They are all close. So now, yep. Whew. That was close. So wait. Okay, so let's rewind a few frames. Okay, so now he attempts to overtake me by pushing me, but the problem is he steered too hard to the left and he ended up having a wall collision. So now just turns. Yep. The gap is closing though. Now, okay, let's see. So what happens is that, okay, I'm gonna rewind a few frames. Yeah, the rewinding thing is kind of hard to do though. So essentially, initially I at here, whoa. Okay, so now, okay, here I managed to block the car, but I ended up turning too much that I had a wall collision, and when I try to course correct, he just simply plowing through, which leads to, and again, wait, I noticed something though. Yup, he is right blocking me though. Let me check. Nothing conclusive so far, I guess. So, yep, brake blocking on a straight road at that. Yeah, I really hate that because it serves no purpose other than ensuring that your opponent is taking a lesser spots than you at the price of the first getting increased distance with the one in front of you. Whoops. And this is getting interesting because, okay, nice. Well, at least I managed to overtake one car though. Oops. Yep, gotten second place. Now on to the next match. Okay, Osaka. So normally I would let them go through because the red corners are useful for overtaking though. Yeah, the movements are kind of wild though. Okay, then the hard right turn. Let's see. Whoa. Phew. I am at a loss of words. Let's see. Now hard right turn, but whoops. I don't see a reason why he needs to break block though. Yup, I hit the wall and got overtaken as a result. But still, the race is long though. And the gap is closing due to the wall collision earlier. Yup. Whoopsie, nice. Okay. So now I'm going. Okay, so now let's. Okay, so yep. Let's go frame by frame here. So now I take a sharper turn, and then even though I crashed due to needing to avoid the Pajero, he was forced to stay behind me. Now, okay, take a sharper turn. Yep. Okay. Whew. He tried to overtake. Yup, he's definitely brake blocking to ensure that I take the last place. Yeah, essentially this match has turned into a 2v1 situation, and it's a stock bullying tactic, especially against players that they don't like. But my advice is that you just have to get used to it and adapt tactics against that sort of thing. But sometimes that requires you to actively fight against your driving instincts, which isn't easy, and it's no use to actually try to complain for it though. See, normally at this point you should be taking the straight line. Oops. Yeah, the trajectory sometimes can be rather unpredictable though. Okay. Yeah, there's no way I can overtake them at this point. Okay, on to the next race. Yup, another 2v1 race. So essentially trying to block me so that another one can overtake. If you ask me, this is essentially a form of, I don't know, I don't want to use ugly words. This kind of tactic is something that I will never employ myself. yeah, those break blocking is something that I will not analyze because I don't want to reward this kind of behavior. So, whoops, nice. Okay. So now, whoa, lose control, but it seems like he's sticking to his racing lines, which coincides with mine at that point. So now, okay, yep, getting close. Okay, turn right. Yup. I took the turn a bit wide and then ended up pushed for wall collision. Normally, if you are in the lead, you want to take, how should I put it? You want to take a sharper turn than normal. Yup. Brake block. Whoopsie, looks like he has hit a corner wall and lose a lot of speed. Whew, that was close. Okay, the gap is closing, but for some reason he suddenly stops. I think presumably it's an attempt to throw off the pacing, which definitely successful though. Whoa, I should have let off the gas a bit. Ah, crap. Okay, so whoops. Yeah, I went too far to the left, which gives him the room to perform a collision attack against me. So, okay. So now, on that one though, okay, so essentially, what happened is that I actually have a wall collision at the right, which allows Y to overtake me, and at this point, it's pretty much over. And collisions like this certainly don't help though. Okay, so now, yep, this is Shinjuku, and this will be the last video of the day. Yeah, in these kind of arcades, you will be watched by other players, and I should actually switch back to E20. Yep, he lost control and ended up colliding. So now a hard left turn. Nice. Whoopsie. Okay, I managed to hold on my own, but I'm not quite sure how the weight physics work on that case though. Okay, yep. So at this point, essentially blocking off the possible racing lines. And now, okay, successful blocks. Okay, good overtaking, but there's a problem though. He left the gap too wide, and then, yep, he ended up He ended up at drifting to the left side, and I just overtake him. Oops. Whoa. Yep. Yeah, I take the turn too wide at a wide angle, so he just overtake me. So now I have to do some catch up at later sections of the race though. And for some reason the handicap doesn't kick in rather late though. Oops. Okay. Okay, the gap is closing, and there should be a red corner that is my last chance for overtaking him, but I made, yeah, this collision. Yep, the race is pretty much over at this point though. Okay, so that's it for the stream. Yeah, so I won't be able to do this kind of streams, at least for the foreseeable future, until I get employed. But I'll think of something as a replacement. Once I get the idea, then I'll announce it over my Twitter. So tomorrow there will be 2 streams. First is I'm going to start with CSGO Office and Agency on 4 PM UTC +8, followed by Custom Solitaire game on 9 PM UTC +8. So hopefully I can enjoy both of these games. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.